A manhunt is underway for the murderer of 24-year-old Brianna Kupfer, who was stabbed to death while working at a high-end Los Angeles furniture store. The assailant is believed to be homeless. Her father spoke to Fox and Friends this morning and had a powerful message for the city's leaders.
I blame what's endemic in our society right now is that everybody seems to be oriented on giving back rights and bestowing favor on people that rob others of their rights. I don't know if it's the politicians themselves, but we don't elect them because we think they're great. We elect them because we think they can do great things. And it's all being lost. All we're doing is trying to divide people and get angry at everything around us. And it's got to end.
It's such a great point. We don't elect you because you're awesome. We elect you because you're supposed to do the job that you signed up to do, that you ran to do. Meanwhile, in New York, a community is mourning after 19-year-old Crystal Nieves, hope I pronounced that right, was murdered in a cold-blooded Burger King robbery. The suspect, a teenager with 7 prior arrests, is finally once again behind bars. Crystal's mother called for an end to this madness.
Maybe my daughter is not the first one who died in this way, but I want my daughter to be the last.
Days later, in Times Square, the heart of Manhattan in New York City, a homeless ex-convict allegedly killed an innocent woman by shoving her in front of a moving train. New York's new mayor, Eric Adams, admitted the mayor, doesn't even feel safe in the city's subway system.
We're going to make sure New Yorkers feel safe in our subway system, and they don't feel that way now. I don't feel that way when I take the train every day.
You know, that was actually an about-face from what he said originally, which was, oh, everything's okay. Lawrence Jones is Fox and Friends Enterprise reporter and a good friend. He joins me now. Lawrence, thanks for being here. Every time we see a tragedy like this...
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
I'm so sorry, brother. When the mayor says that, you know, he doesn't feel safe with a full security detail, that's just a lie. That's just like projecting to the citizens, pretending to feel their pain. Look, I try to be optimistic when it comes to this mayor, but if it's really gonna stop the bleeding within New York City and across the country, it's gonna take more than rhetoric to stop it. He needs a strong statement going after the DA to say enough is enough. You know, we gotta stop pretending that we don't know the solution to this problem. You get the bad guys, you cuff them, you put them behind bars, and then you make sure that they don't harm other people. For some reason, the criminal justice system has flipped around, and the criminals get more rights than the actual victims of crimes. You know, when you look at that dad talking about his baby girl, Brianna, and the sheer strength that he shows in the middle of that interview, yeah. I don't know if I could do it, especially when you have elected leaders that do nothing. You know what's going to happen, Pete? And I hate to say this, but it's just the truth. It's going to hit them in their family. The fact of the matter is there is no shield, no matter if you're elected or not, for the madness that is happening across America. I was just in Chicago yesterday doing a live shot talking about the most violent community in America, in the most violent block in America. I was there yesterday. In the middle of this shoot, guy goes and commits a strong robbery, steals a car. The guy that he was stealing the car from, he was also a robber as well. So you got 2 people that are shooting at each other, both stealing cars. That is America today, Pete.
Wow. Yeah, Lawrence, you know, it almost, I don't want to say every time, but the vast majority of times, it feels like a heinous crime like this happens. And then it takes a day or two for us to learn about the rap sheet of the perpetrator. We learn that violent crimes are almost always preceded by other violent crimes or other crimes that are indicative of the character of that individual. What is it about these DAs where they can't understand, or they willfully, intentionally want to block the backgrounds of people and say, well, we're going to give you a 5th chance or a 6th chance or a 7th. That's not criminal justice reform. That's just pro-criminal.
They're bought and paid for. You got George Soros that went in and decided to team up with Eric Holder, the former Attorney General, to make this happen. I've been covering this about 3.5 years. They are married to their ideology. You know, I've heard all day people say, well, you know, it was a homeless population. There is a money problem in many of these cities that they can't make sure that the homeless get into mental health facilities and get them housing. That is a blatant lie. LA, Philly, any other major city, if you look at the documents, they have the money to solve it. What we saw, and I've been covering this for 3.5 years, is when you go into those encampments, the homeless population has been offered resources, but they don't want to follow the rules that comes with those resources. So if you check them in a treatment facility, they got a curfew. They got to make sure, and these are people that are getting full meals, they're getting clothes, they're getting all the stipend, bought by the taxpayer, of course, but when there's rules in place, you tell them they got a curfew and they got to stop doing the drugs, they don't want to do it. So you know what they go back to the street and they continue to do what they want to do. Again, you got to cut the head off the snake and make sure that there's real justice for these victims out here.
Lawrence, nobody knows it better than you. You speak the truth, and we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much. By the way, quick note in what I just read. Crystal Nieves, the suspect in that, was not a teenager, my mistake, and we want to always get it right. All right, thank you, Lawrence.